All right, let's get started. So I haven't taken a trade yet, but I'm going to get into the live nitty gritty of how I would take a trade and just general analysis for the day. So how I set up my chart is I have the Asian Open, I have London Kill Zone, then I have London Open and obviously New York Open. I am not allowed to trade till 11, and I've noticed this just from past data and how I have been losing trades that I've taken since before 11, sorry. And yeah, so as we can see, we've swept out this liquidity, high side liquidity just here, and we've got a reaction down, and then we swept this low side liquidity just here, and we got a small reaction up. So if I was trading this, we haven't broken down the 4 hours. The 4 hourly is bullish and the 1 hourly is bearish. So I've gone to the 15 minutes and I'd wait for a break of structure, 15-minute break of structure, which would be my entry. So my entry would have been, is that a long position? Yeah, long position. My entry would have been right here, stop loss under previous low, and then targeting the highs. And this would have been the trade I would have been in if I did follow my strategy. However, further analyzing the daily could very well go up and my analysis could be wrong. However, I want to wait for this 4 hour candle close, which is in 26 minutes, bringing us up until 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. I start trading at 11, but just as some pre-analysis, if this closes under, obviously that's a breakdown, which would correlate with the sweep we've just had. So if I remove this long position, we've just had a sweep here, and I think this could take us all the way down to this sweep here, this low side liquidity. I think this is the valid trade instead of the long, which is why I'm glad to not be trading before 11. But yeah, this is the trade to take in my opinion. We had a 5-minute break structure here. Obviously, I can't take this trade as the 4 hourly is still up, but I think the 4 hourly will be down in 25 minutes, and then the hourly is already down and we've swept. This would have been perfect short position, but yeah, it is before 11 a.m. and also the 4 hourly is bullish. But overall, it doesn't really look like a bullish pattern, I can't say, just from previous like market experience looking at the data on the screen. Yeah, the only reason I could say this could go up is due to how the daily looks, but then we have to take into account we've swept this liquidity here, so we are likely to make a move down. Something similar to here, where we swept this low side liquidity, we might sweep this low side liquidity, or maybe even this one just here that we created yesterday. But yeah, I guess we'll see, and I'll update you guys as we go on, but that's all I can see right now. I'm happy to be out the markets for today. We haven't got any news. We've got unemployment claims, which I don't mind, to be honest. But yeah, apart from that, there's not much else I can say. But yeah, this does look like it wants to go down. And if I did take the long, I probably would have been stopped out. So it's good I held off and yeah, I followed rules. But yeah, I'll update you guys if I see anything else. But my general bias right now is we're going to dump. And I do think this was the sweep and we've set in the high for the day. The London kill zone just basically means we've set the high for the day. So yeah, we'll see. I'll update you guys at 11 probably if I take any trade. But yeah. Okay, so a little change of plan. It's now 10 o'clock and we obviously, so I zoomed in onto the 15, or actually 5 minutes, and I could see we had this breaker block just here. And the 4 hourly didn't close bearish, so I must remain bullish until at least 2 p.m. I guess. So yeah, the 4 hourly remained bullish, and I believe I'm going to be looking for longs. I don't like how we swept this. However, I do think we sweep this 1 hour low, get a little bit further down into the breaker block, and then maybe target this high once again, or we smash through the high and target the main area for the day, which would be around here. If this does happen, the risk to reward seems quite favorable. Should be at least a 1 to 2. Let's say we get an entry around here and we place our stop loss just here, nearly a 1 to 3. So we'll see what happens. In my ideal world, I would like to see this area getting swept, but we'll see. It's only 10 o'clock, so I start trading at 11. But yeah, I've completely done a 180 purely because the 4 hour didn't break down and I did expect it to break down. But yeah, now we'll just see what's happening because the 1 hour is still down until we close above this. So yeah. Okay, so back at 11. Not much has changed, to be honest. The market is a bit choppy, to say the least. I do still want this low to get taken out. However, if we do take out that low, that disrespects kill zone. So it's a bit of a 50-50 one right now. Even if we get a move up, we can still form a fair value gap. I could enter off a fair value gap, but it might take some time. The best scenario would be to resweep this level, tap into the breaker block, and then continue up. But yeah, I understand that might not happen. Price is a bit choppy, to be honest. This whole range from here to, I don't know what that was, from here to about here, it's just very choppy. I guess we'll see what happens. That's about it, to be honest. All right, just about to head off to the gym, and I have actually entered a trade, which is why I'm doing this update. But yeah, so how I entered the trade was there was no 1 hour liquidity sweep. However, the liquidity sweep that I went based off was this one just here. So this one didn't come, which is fine. We already tapped once into the breaker block and the market decided to change direction. And if you go into the 15 minutes, we had a nice 15-minute fair value gap just here that has been held. If we go just like that. And I wanted a sweep of this level or this level, and we got both. So I wanted to see price either sweep here or sweep this low, and we got that. And then I entered off a 1 minute break of structure. All right, so if we go down to the 1 minute to see where I've entered, if we go for long position, I entered just here on this candle just here, a bit early, but I had my stop loss just here, and I was targeting, and I still am, to be honest, targeting just these highs right here. It would be these highs. Let me just point it out, as this is still a valid liquidity. Sorry, this one, as it's still a valid liquidity sweep in my eyes. I don't think we'll reach the top one. I think we'll reach the second one, and we've gotten really close. I don't know if we're still going to hit it. Should be interesting to see. But yeah, the risk to reward looks something like this, which is a 1 to 2. And yeah, we'll see if it still plays. It's not looking amazing. I didn't realize news was going to affect the market this much. But yeah, we got really close to TP, and then the market just decided to reverse. So we'll see what happens. We're about a pip and a bit away from TP. But yeah, it's just a waiting game now. So I'll update you guys when I'm finished with the gym and when the trade's done. Alright, so I just got to the gym, and yeah, my trade TP'd. There's not much I can say. I guess I'll do the analysis when I'm back home. And yeah, we made around 2,500, something like that. I think I was risking a bit over 1%, hence why bigger profit, because the risk to reward was 1 to 2.2. And yeah, so we won the trade, and we took home 2,500. And yeah, happy days. I'll do the analysis when I'm home, and yeah, catch you guys later. Alright, so it's now the next day. It's Friday, 6th of June. And yeah, we're going to go into the analysis. The trade TP'd, as you guys saw from the previous clip. It was an interesting trade, purely because emotions were so high. I got so close to TP and then so close to drawdown. And yeah, it was an interesting one. I think that was heavily because of news. However, we did get the correct direction up. Things to improve on would be the TP. So I did TP at this liquidity sweep just here. It would have been a 1 hour previous liquidity sweep, hence why I had taken it. Yep, this is exactly why. However, I could have had a second TP here, and I'm sure there was some other previous TP levels that I could have taken it at, which just would have made money management better, I guess. This could have been a TP. This could have been a TP, bottom of the fair value gap, and I don't think we got this high, but let me just put it in place and for us to have a look. Yeah, that's one thing I could have done better. Definitely. Okay, there we go. We hit that high as well. So we could have had a lot more TPs. We'll remove this one as it's so close to the previous highs. But we could have had 1, 2. So we could have 4 TPs and made a lot more money, taking a small percent off at each high side liquidity. That's one thing I could definitely improve on. Overall, entry was good. I wouldn't say I entered early. I entered purely because we were in bullish order flow, and I didn't want to wait for this to get broken. So I used, which one did I use? I used this as my high. As we stopped here, retraced, and then as we broke, I entered. Apart from that, it was a pretty solid trade. I was pretty patient with entry. The only bad thing was that emotions were high, and I decided to close my chart and my phone when we got to about this area, so I didn't even know this had happened. I only came back on the chart around here, and I saw price just absolutely skyrocketing. And yeah, I can't say I'm happy with this trade. I'm satisfied, and I'm glad my analysis worked, but bias wasn't completely correct. As at the start of the day, I was more favorable towards shorts. But yeah, it all worked out in the end. And at the end of the day, you don't need to predict the market. You just need to know where it's going for a certain period of time. And we did that, and we were successful. But yeah, that's about it for the analysis. There's not much else to say. If things to improve on would be keeping emotions under control and setting multiple TPs, as well as trusting my edge and my strategy, because the first initial 15-minute break of structure trade from here would have been fine for the whole day. If we have a look, when we originally swept just here, that low was the local low of the London kill zone, and we never went under that. So if we held a long position from here for the whole day, we would have been fine. Obviously, targeting something reasonable, like let's say this high side liquidity, would have given us a 2 to 7, 1 to 2.7, sorry, risk to reward. But yeah, definitely things to learn, and I'm glad I'm doing this as I stopped recaps for a while and my trading got worse. But yeah, hopefully you guys did well. I'm not going to trade today as we have NFP, and I don't want to get caught up in that. Friday price action is already bad, so yeah, there's no point. If you guys decide to trade today, I hope you guys do well, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one, which will probably be next week.